テレ東ビズ
Hello. No, nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to see you. I'm Wata from Tokyo. So please have a seat.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Let's get started. So the first question is, could you tell us the current situation in Israel? So we'd like to know the damage and how the Hamas movement implement in Israel at the moment.
Yeah. On the morning of Shabbat, our holiday, in the holiday of Israel of Simchat Torah, we were attacked by terrorist organization Hamas, which infiltrated Israel in several points and attacked us by barrage of rockets, thousands of rockets. The Hamas killed innocent people, massacred them. We have now over 700 people dead, children, women, men, innocent people that were in their homes. We have thousands of casualties, wounded people, and we have dozens of people that were kidnapped to Gaza Strip. Israel is now taking actions by air, and we are witnessing it as a declaration of war by Hamas against Israel.
Prime Minister described this the current situation at war in Israel. So could you explain the detail of that? Yeah.
Well, a situation of war has not only political but legal aspects of giving resources to it, recruiting the reserves, and mobilizing the army into operations that will be instructed by the Israeli cabinet. It's a different situation than the campaigns that we had in the past years, since 2008, vis-a-vis Gaza. It means that measures and the resources and the scale of the forces of the army is going to be different. And that's actually the war situation that Israel is in. There will be no mercy for the terrorists. We are going to treat them like the world had to treat with ISIS, with Al-Qaeda, because their horror acts and what they did is equal to ISIS. And we are going to take every necessary measure as a democracy which has to defend itself to combat this and to make sure these attacks, heinous attacks against us, murdering innocent civilians, will not repeat itself. Well, I will not going to go into operational details of what we are going to do. You can understand I do not want to discuss it on TV, but it will be very severe. It may take time, but we are going to exercise our right of self-defense. This is the government obligation to its people, to its territory, and this is what we have to do now. So it may take some time, but we hope that the international community will support Israel's right of self-defense, like every nation has the right.
So how possible is it to take your military go into Gaza, so on the ground?
Again, I will not go into operational details of what we are going to do, where and when. You cannot say what you are going to do. I'm just saying that Hamas has declared war on Israel, and Israel is going to act as it is an act of war and conduct its movements according to this situation. Israel has been in several wars in the past, wars that were imposed on us by our enemies, and we won them. And we are going to win this war as well.
Okay, sure. So let's go back to the previous question about regarding casualty. So, so some news reports said the casualty includes tourists like Germans or other countries. So what did you get some information about? Yeah.
We are checking the casualties. We know that there are foreign casualties, foreign people, unfortunately, that were attacked and were injured and hit and even killed. Some maybe even kidnapped. We are still collecting our deads. Some of them have dual nationalities, meaning citizens of other countries. But as soon as we have concrete information, we are going to reveal it and to tell it publicly, including to the governments which have their citizens in this catastrophe.
You mentioned the information, recent information from your wife in Israel. So what kind of information did you get from your wife?
My wife grew up in a kibbutz called Nahal Oz. I got married there. We were married there. The stories that I heard about her friends, neighbors, people that were living there are horrible stories. People were executed by Hamas, taken out of the beds. They shot little kids, children, 1 year old, 2 years old. They just shot them. Some of the people tried to hold up, or to lock themselves inside some secured rooms. When the Hamas cannot open this room, they lit the houses on fire in order for the families and the children to go out because of the smoke. And when they went out, they were shot. This was a massacre. There was a party for youngsters just dancing and enjoying themselves. And they went there and they killed hundreds of them, just executing them, like Daesh did. Exactly the same. No mercy, no compassion, nothing. Just kill them. They went to took elder people. They kidnapped them and took them to Gaza. They shot and killed them. People that are 70, 80, 90 years old. Just took them and just shot them. These kind of things are crimes against humanity. These kind of things no nation can tolerate, and Israel is not going to tolerate them.
So you have a talented intelligence agency, Mossad, but probably so they didn't detect that. Why didn't they detect that, the Hamas move?
Well, thank you for the compliment for our agencies. Indeed, I think they are the best in the world. We are not going to enter into what happened now. Now we have to fight. Now we have to respond. Now we have to secure. There are still 6 places or even more in Israel that are still terrorists, Hamas terrorists inside, that we have to fight them. We have to secure our lines, and then we have to do what needs to be done in Gaza Strip. We have more than 100 people that were kidnapped there, families. After we finish this, we are going to investigate what happened. We are going to learn from it, and we are going to make sure that it will never happen again. But I just want to say one thing. If somebody thinks that it can use this situation from the north, Hezbollah, Syria, or in the West Bank, and to attack Israel, our response is going to be very, very strong, harsh, and lethal. We are not going to observe it, or to absorb it, or to have it. We have to cope now with what's happening in Gaza, but don't think that Israel is weak. Israel is strong, and we are going to handle, if we are attacked from another front, the retaliation is going to be very, very severe.
Okay. So one more thing about your defense, your military system. So it is famous, for you to have an air defense system, so Iron Dome. So how effective was the Iron Dome against this attack?
Well, we have the 3 most advanced and operational tested layers of air defense. It's the Arrow system, the David Sling, and the Iron Dome. I can tell you that the Iron Dome is detecting missiles, and if it sees that are coming into territories, populated areas, we are firing it. Most of the missiles went to the open fields or to the sea. So the percentage of success is a high one, as used to be in the past. So the Iron Dome is working well and defending the citizens of Israel. Sometimes there are infiltrations of some missiles, but the number is small and the Iron Dome is working.
But this time, the numbers of the missile attacks are more than the.
Well, the barrage of missiles was very, very big, and very massive. So some of the missiles did penetrate, unfortunately. But the Iron Dome is working and intercepted many of the missiles, and the interceptions were good. Unfortunately, some went in, but this is exactly what they're trying to do, the Hamas, to target civilians, to target people, to target innocent people. And that's the difference between what we are trying to do of defending ourselves against what's happening, and not hurting civilians if we can. We want to target only the terrorists, while Hamas, kidnapping soldiers, kidnapping kids, women, and men, murdering them, and taking them in captivity or wounding them. That's the difference, the difference between us. For us, every child that is hurt in Gaza is a tragedy. For them, every child being killed or being kidnapped is a source for celebration for this heinous and barbaric organization.
Can you say with 100% confidence that you can distinguish the soldiers from civilians?
Imagine, what would Japan do? What would Japan do if an organization will come into a club in Shibuya, where had hundreds of just youngsters dancing and drinking and having fun and enjoying their life, and just kill them, slaughter them, all of them? What would Japan do if you will be invaded in your southern islands by someone, taking hostages, kidnapping? What would you do?
This is just a terrorist attack.
Exactly.